Hey everyone, welcome to another long form content video. Just getting my tripod up and running. This is kind of a tradition in these videos as I get them started. Let me know, do you hate it? Do you love it? I don't know, sound off in the comments. But my name is Matt with RAR TCG, and we're gonna be talking about Magic the Gathering today. I'm super excited. I want to let you in on a secret. Magic the Gathering is completely and utterly different than Pokemon. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to really know that, especially if you have some familiarity with both TCGs. But we're going to talk about the basic differences, but I'm also going to talk about something that I've been doing recently as I'm learning about Magic the Gathering that's really propelled some things in my business, and I'm really excited about scaling even further. So let's dive right in. I want to add value in all of these videos, and if you ever find any of my content helpful, whether it's my shorts or long form content videos, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Both of those things, commenting, liking, and subscribing, I guess that's 3, right? Those things really help grow the channel, really helps get me some exposure. My goal is to hit 1,000 subs. We're already over 420, which is crazy, y'all. Thank you so much for the love and support. Appreciate it. And final shameless plug is you can check out my stuff over at rartcg.com. There's a link to my TCG player store, along with some sealed Japanese products, and I stream on Fridays and Saturdays if you want to come rip some packs with me. Today, we're talking about Magic. We're going to talk about the differences, the key and core differences between Pokemon as a TCG and Magic. Because even though they are in the same hobby space, they do not function or act or behave the same at all. But before I jump into that, I want to give you the big piece of value here. Here's what's crazy. Let me grab this box. I forgot to put it right in front of me. This right here is a sealed play box of Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering. I grew up playing the Final Fantasy games. I remember sitting down with some best friends, watching them play through Final Fantasy VII, and then as soon as I got a PS1, that was the first thing I was asking for. So 2 of the first games I ever got on my PlayStation was Final Fantasy IX. It was the most recent Final Fantasy to release, and I got Final Fantasy Tactics, which released alongside Final Fantasy VII. It was more of a true tactics game. And if you don't know what a tactics RPG is, they're super fun, super in-depth. You kind of recruit your own little army, and if any of your little units die in battle, you actually lose them if you can't revive them in time. It's crazy. I'm getting distracted. So Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering came out, and if you are connected in the TCG YouTube space, you'll see a lot of Pokemon content creators now talking about Magic the Gathering. There's a very important reason that's happening, but let me tell you what my approach to Final Fantasy has been from a business standpoint. Number one, I just talked about how much I love Final Fantasy. I believe in the IP. I believe in the art. I think that there's something special about what Magic has done with this crossover, this Universes Beyond set. And so from the very get-go, I knew I wanted to jump into the set. I want to have a binder of some of my favorite cards of it because I connect so much with the characters and the worlds behind Final Fantasy, the games. So that's the primary reason. I was already planning on jumping in, even though my knowledge of Magic the Gathering is not as much as Pokemon, but I have recently, in the last 2 months, been learning more about selling Magic the Gathering cards, and it's been fascinating. So let me tell you what I did with Final Fantasy. This box right now, about a week ago, I haven't checked since then, this box was going for anywhere between $200 to $220, okay? That's a lot for a Magic the Gathering play box. Now, you have to understand that Magic the Gathering has 2 primary products that they sell when they release products. You have the play boxes, which are mostly designed for players of the game. And we're going to jump into all the differences and everything in the future. Just remember that. Play boxes are for players, easy. And then you have something called the collector's box. The collector's box is right now selling for over $1,000. I don't have one of those. I'm not balling like that right now. Maybe, hopefully someday in the future I will be. I'd love to have a collector's box of Final Fantasy just to throw in my closet, honestly. But check this out. So play boxes are for the players. I've said that 3 times now. What that means is while yes, there are some alt art cards, there's some holos you can get, it doesn't have the big chases in it. It doesn't have the SIRs, the illustration rares that you would typically find in any Pokemon booster box. Those specific ultra rare chases are designated, reserved in the collector's box. So why do I have a Final Fantasy play box if I don't actively play Magic the Gathering? Well, first of all, I do, but I play online. And second of all, I have these boxes because I've been opening the packs and selling the cards for a profit. That might blow your mind. But here's the amazing thing. And this is gonna transition right into the next part of this video. And hopefully I can keep this around 10 minutes. We'll see. I always say that, it never works out. But here's the deal. Every Magic the Gathering box has a different estimated value. That's what we call the EV. Some boxes have a higher estimated value than they cost, okay? That's the key part of it, is if you can buy a Magic the Gathering box at the right price, under the estimated value, then you can open it up and likely make your money back and have some profit on top of that. But the key, as with all things in business, you have to buy at the right price. I say this all the time with bulk cards. Buying at the right price is probably the core, fundamental, foundational, most important thing in all businesses. You can go out and buy 10,000 Pokemon cards for $200, but that is not going to be a great investment for your business because you're overpaying for those cards. But if you can get 10,000 cards for at or below $100, you are looking really great for those cards. You can have a lot of room for profit there. With Magic, it's no different. You're dealing with different amounts of money. So as I said, that Final Fantasy play box is somewhere valued between $200 and $220. The EV is right around $220. So do you think that I went out and bought a box at $220, opened it, and then tried to sell it for a loss? No. I actually got a really great deal from one of the local card shops kind of in my area. And I got I was supposed to get a case, but Final Fantasy kind of went crazy. Things got allocated. Stores didn't have as much as they thought they would. So I actually got half a case, 6 boxes at $140 each. That, compared to the estimated value, is really amazing. And what's really cool about that is the store definitely hooked me up, but also the store made money off of those boxes, right? It wasn't like anybody was losing in that situation. It just so happened that this set went bonkers, okay? So I had a lot of uptick there. So after I had really good success out of the first 3 boxes, I then looked to see how can I capitalize, how can I maybe secure additional boxes under, at a good price. So then I found a whole case of boxes around $160. Again, the profit margin there is a little bit less per box, but it's still within a sweet spot for where the EV is. I have opened 4 of those boxes, currently have them listed. And by the time I open my 5th and 6th box, I'll be well and above what I initially invested in the boxes. So if you can find the right Magic sets, the boxes, at the right price, you can open a large amount of them and get your money back. This isn't something that I would recommend doing where you're just buying 1 box at a time because it's an estimated value, right? So sometimes you can open a box and you get a value, you can get a lot more than that EV. But other times you can open a box and get way lower than the EV, okay? It's just the law of averages, right? But that's something that you can basically only do in Magic from what I understand. Now understand, I only have experience with Pokemon and Magic. So someone watching this may be really big into, Vice Shorts or Union Arena, One Piece. You guys may know those TCGs better. And if you want to help me out and teach me about what you know, I'd be happy to learn. Hit me up in the comments. But when it comes to Magic and Pokemon, that's a huge difference. And this is where we're going to transition talking about some of the general differences before we close out this video. So number 1, when it comes to Pokemon boxes don't separate player boxes versus collector boxes. It's all in the same thing. You have your 1, 2, or 3 top level chases that can get you 50, $100+ If we're looking at specialty sets like prismatic, you're looking at thousands of dollars of upside. But they're all within the same box. So players and collectors are both opening up the same boxes. That's one key difference. The other major difference between Pokemon and Magic is that Magic is a player's game. A vast majority, I would say like in the 99% of Magic the Gathering fans, they all play the game. Whether that's casually, competitively, and know this about Magic. This is so cool. I wish Pokemon would do some of this. They have different formats of the game that are all super popular. You have what's called Pauper, you have Commander, you have Standard, you have Draft. It's really quite fascinating the more you learn and research about it. Because then you look at Pokemon, and Pokemon has technically some like non-official formats of the game that have been gathering kind of traction here and there. And so that's why sometimes you can find older bulk cards that actually have like really high value. I actually found like a float stone one time. It was like from was it XY era? It was worth like $6 or $7. Just a normal bulk card, non-hollow, but it's because it was actively played in one of those other formats. But yeah, Pokemon really just has the main format officially. And that's going to limit what cards the players are actively engaging with and buying to just what's in the like current rotation, which is going to be your more modern sets. Here's the other side of it. Magic is the player's game. Pokemon has a really thriving players side of it, but the majority of people in Pokemon are collectors. They're looking to build master sets. They're looking to build binders of their favorite Pokemon or their favorite illustrators and artists that create the Pokemon cards. Okay, it's a totally different approach to it. And then of course you have people chasing the top chase cards of every set, maybe looking to speculate, invest, or just have them in their collections. That's not the case with Magic, y'all. And here's the other thing with Pokemon. We know what the top cards are, right? It's the illustration rares. It's the SIRs. You see something shiny, you see something with texture on it, you're like, woo, here we go. But when I open these Magic the Gathering packs, a lot of times it's these sleeper cards that look just totally normal, non-foil, not alt art cards, not borderless. Some of these cards like the Buster Sword, I'm not going to edit this. I would put a picture of the Buster Sword. I actually have one in my inventory. All that's too much work, okay? Low effort content that I can just push out the door. That's what we're doing here, okay? The Buster Sword. Look it up online. There's multiple versions of the Buster Sword, and the versions in the collector's box have some astronomical prices and everything like that. But in the play box, even just the regular Buster Sword is worth almost $50. Okay, that's crazy. If you're looking at Obsidian Flames, that's the top chase card. That's the Charizard, basically, right? And that's just one of the cards, and not even the top chase card in the set. But yeah, it's just amazing. If you are dreaming of starting your own TCG store business and you want to start with bulk, that's where I always recommend. Start with what you know. Start with what you love. So if you love Pokemon, learn the Pokemon market. Okay, don't feel stressed out like you have to learn and collect all these other TCGs. You're gonna get lost in the sauce. You're gonna get stuck in a rabbit hole. Focus on what you know. Build a really strong level of procedures, processes, strategy. Know the ins and outs, know what you need to buy at, what you need to sell at, how to do that effectively, how to scale up that business. And then whenever you got that down and you're scaling that side of it, then look for some other opportunities, whether that's starting your own website, starting a rip and ship, whether that's looking at other TCGs like Magic. These are all things that I've done to help really try to scale up what I'm doing to really start building the revenue that I need to invest in other areas. Like I want a card sorting machine. Well, to do that, I gotta put in the hard work. I gotta ship hundreds or thousands of orders so that I have enough capital where that's possible. And it's just slow grassroots movements where we're just churning away. We get cards in, we churn them and sell them. We rotate that in and out. We do the streams, we sell online, we sell on the website, and it's amazing. Sell in person. Actually, I actually have like kind of an overflow, I don't have a ton of Japanese boxes, but I actually was looking at my inventory and I was like, hey, I could probably sell some of these on Facebook Marketplace and have that money back. And I can get them at, I can get them for 90% of market, which is amazing. And so just because something's not selling super quick on the stream doesn't mean there's not other avenues where I can really capitalize on the product that I have. So I've started doing that too. It's been really great. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know, did you like this video? Did you like learning a little bit about Magic the Gathering if you've never heard about it? Does the idea, the concept of opening sealed products to make money on it, does that blow your mind? Because it blew my mind. And again, just a word of caution, you can't do that with just one box, right? You have to have some money, you have to have some capital, invest in a couple cases of product, all that kind of stuff. Like, you got to do it the right way, but it is possible. It's really exciting. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.